Before I start the video, I'm gonna ask you guys to help me out with something. So I'm trying to compete in Smash Ultimate Summit 3, which is an invitational event. You can get invited through voting, which is what I'm trying to do. If you want to see me compete, as well as commentate in this event, you have to vote for me. On certain dates, players with the lowest number of votes get eliminated, and the top 2 highest votes on a given date get invited. There's also an option to buy limited edition merch, or even buy a pass to be able to spectate the event, which will increase the number of votes you can give someone. If you're interested in helping me out, I will have a link in the description. How's it going, guys? Larry here, and for today's video, I'm going to give you 5 characters that I think are going to be very impactful in the current meta. The current or upcoming meta, I should say. And what I mean by that is that at major events, I think these characters are going to have a huge impact. They might be heavily upsetting characters or upsetting top players, or just placing really high at these events. And I feel like if you are a competitor and you want to succeed, you're going to have to know these matchups, or else they're just going to blow you up. Yeah, so let me get into it. The first character that I think is going to be very important is Steve. So unlike the other 4 I'm going to mention, I personally think that Steve might drop in that category. I think that factor of how well he's going to do is going to be matchup and experience. Steve is unlike any character that's been in Ultimate so far, just because of the fact that he has, he has these blocks. He has just a way to shut down the opponent. He also has incredible combo capabilities, but the thing that I think might hold him back in being like as impactful as the other characters is that I feel like his neutral game is lacking, and that's mainly due to his mobility just being as bad as it is. Of course, he does have ways to get around this. Like I said, the blocks. He has minecart. His grab's not super amazing, but I feel like it's useful in the sense that, it's a tether grab. It grabs from far away. You can actually catch people in the air with it. He also has the ability to craft more tools, make his attack stronger. Of course, he has the diamond, which you get that. He has like Arsene back here, basically. So he is a very, very interesting character. Like I said, I think that he might fall off a little bit. He might not be as important in the meta. But for now, I think he's going to be incredibly important, and I think that he's going to upset a lot of players on a major scale. So the next character I'm going to mention has been nerfed multiple times, but I still think they are very important in the meta, and that is so I guess let me just explain why I think Palutena is going to be very important. So here's a funny way to think about her. I think Palu is the garbage person. She gets rid of all the trash characters. She basically makes you have to be a good character in order to progress very far in tournaments, in my personal opinion. And that's just because she just has such a Swiss Army knife variety of options. She has good reflector. She still has a good grab. She has one of the best grabs in the game, regardless of the nerf she got by it. She has easy to do damage output, great ledge trapping, solid kill confirms. Down throw backer can still work at certain percents if the opponent's through the ledge. Like the character just has so much going for her. She has solid mobility. I think that she kind of forces the character to be a certain level of good in order to beat her. Funny enough, I don't think there are a lot of top tiers that are able to do that, or at the very least able to do it as easily as Palu can, because like the way she plays a lot of the matchups, I feel like it's just so straightforward that you don't really need to know matchups as well as you would with other characters. And I think that reason is going to cause Palu to always be relevant in the meta and just always hold back characters that could potentially cause upsets, but because Palu is just that consistent monster, they're not going to be able to do it on her. Alright, this next character, the stock on this character has just risen to the roof, and that is So you might be wondering exactly why Diddy Kong has become so relevant in the meta, and it's honestly because there are just a lot of good Diddy Kong players now. Of course, there's Tweak, who picked him up during quarantine. There's also Aaron, there's Player One, there's Dakpo, there's Chicken, and like there's even more that I'm not mentioning. But the character he's just good. Even without the infinite, he's gotten a lot of buffs that has just greatly improved him and just made him just a monster. The thing that makes Diddy Kong so relevant in the meta, in my opinion, is going to be that he does really well versus a lot of top tier characters. And while he may struggle against some other characters like some zoners give him trouble like Pac-Man, I think the fact that he could potentially upset a character like, you know, Joker, he can upset Palutena, a few others, I think that's gonna just cause him to be super relevant in the meta. And like I said before, there are a lot of really good players that are behind him, so you're gonna get Tweak, you know, causing not even upsets because it's Tweak, but then you're gonna have Aaron popping off player 1, Dakpo, I forgot Rivers. Yeah, at these major events, I wouldn't be surprised if we see 2 or 3 Diddy Kong players in top 8s, and I'm not even exaggerating. I think there's a very good chance that we see just a good amount of Diddy Kong players getting really good results. And this might cause an interesting shift in the meta because I can see there becoming more Diddy Kong players, but because there's more Diddy Kong players, I think that the characters that give Diddy Kong trouble are going to become more relevant, and that's why I think he's going to be so impactful in the meta. I think he has the potential to kind of shift what characters we see more of. Alright, so this next character, it's kind of similar to Diddy Kong in the sense that their stock has risen up. I wouldn't say as much as Diddy Kong, but I think there are just a lot more eyes on this character, and that is... So for Rob, I just want to say that the character is really good, and people have known that he's really good for a while, but I think during the online era, people kind of just saw like all the ridiculous things that Rob can do. And same thing as Diddy Kong, there's just a lot of good Rob players that they can cause upsets, they can make it far in bracket. There's Epic Gabriel, there's Waddy, there's Zach Ray, there's definitely more that I just am not thinking of. Oh, Grayson, there's Grayson. But you just have all these players using Rob, and the character himself is just nuts. Rob is one of the zoners that they have incredible zoning tools, but then at the same time they're ridiculous up close. And for a zoner to have that, that's just not okay. It's just ridiculous. So I guess just something to note about Rob is this move. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's incredibly fast, incredibly safe. Let me just pull up the frame data on it really quick to tell you how fast and safe that attack is. Because that, my personal opinion, that's one of the best down tilts in the game. So his down tilt comes out frame 3 and it's -5 on shield. So that's crazy. Of course, he has his rotor arm combo. I think that's what this move is called, where you kind of just, you know, you carry the opponent off stage and then you end it with the side special, and that kills insanely early. Like that can kill the opponent at like 40-50% off stage, and you can basically zero to death the opponent. If you get the right hit, the opponent will just die, and there's nothing they could do about it. But yeah, I think because of how good the character is, how many good players use him, this is a character that you're just going to have to know. You're going to see a lot of this character, like it or not. I know there are a lot of people who don't like Rob, but that's how it is. You're just going to see a lot of them. Alright, and the final character that I think is going to heavily impact the meta is... So Min Min, I think that she's going to have the biggest impact on the current meta. And there's a few reasons. It's kind of similar to Steve in the sense that I think that if you don't know this matchup, you're gonna do really bad. Except I think it's kind of like a step further than Steve, because I feel like you can kind of not know the Steve matchup and kind of get by. But I think if you don't know how to fight Min Min, 9 out of 10 times you're going to lose. Like if you fight a really good Min Min for the first time, you're going to lose. So if that's in bracket, good luck. The character's just kind of insane. There's a lot of reasons for this. I mean, the first one is, I mean, look, she has insane range. And what makes this so scary is that these are disjoints. So what I mean by this is that there's no hurt box on the arm. So when she swings the attack, if you try to hit it, like you can't hit her for hitting you in that spot. You have to get near her. So just think of this like Dawson from Street Fighter, but just scary better because he had hurt boxes on his arms, but she does not. The other thing that makes Min Min so good is that her combo game is actually pretty impressive for what you would think. Because normally, you know, if a character attacks from this far of a distance, they wouldn't be able to convert off of it that well. But for Min Min, she can. And similar to Rob, she can like confirm a hit and just blow you up for it at extremely low percents. And then she has the ability to power up the arm, which I just recently learned about this. I didn't know it was from a grab, but if you grab the opponent and throw them, see how her arm is different now? Now the attack does more damage and knockback. Let's say Min Min throws you off stage, she gets the dragon arm hit on you, you die. You could die super early. Like, yeah, there's just so many situations where if Min Min hits you, you're in kind of a 50-50 spot where it doesn't feel like you should be in a 50-50, but you are. And you could potentially lose your stock for it. And what makes this character even more scary is that one of her biggest flaws, if I remember right from the direct, Sakurai said one of her biggest flaws was being up close, but it's not that big of an issue. For one, she has good buns up close. She has a 4-frame jab, I believe. She has she has a solid out of shield option. They recently nerfed her up smash. It used to be frame 7, now it's frame 8. My mistake, her jab is frame 5. So she has a frame 5 jab, she has a frame 8 up smash, dash attack's frame 7, and it's like a solid burst option, not to sit in. I mean, you shouldn't really use this, honestly, when you can just do that, but you could do that. She has a down tilt at low profiles, and her foot's invulnerable. Let me just pull this up, actually. Let me do this. Oops, this. So, should be able to see the invulnerability on her foot when I do this, if I time it right. Oh, whoops. Try it again. Yeah, so you can see it's her foot, well, it's like part of her leg as well. So all that blue is invulnerability, so you can't challenge it, which is good. And she can also go under projectiles, don't hit very low. She also has a reflector, by the way, so she can reflect projectiles as well. But yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of this character. I think even after you learn the matchup, she's still going to be very impactful for the meta, because I think there's just a lot of characters that are going to be heavily shut down by her, and they're not going to be able to do much. Like DK, for example. You get DK off stage, he just kind of dies. And I think characters that have low mobility are not going to be able to do much about that. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please give me a like. It helps me out a lot. And if you're not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. That also helps me out a lot. And comment whether or not you agree or disagree with what I said, or if there are characters that you think are going to heavily impact the meta that I did not mention. But yeah, that's going to be it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.